Hi everyone, this is Balazs from Racing Brick. This is my first review of the March 2024 LEGO Technic Space sets. I picked this one because you could already see the others on the channel last year, presented by the Technic designers. So, here is the 42179 Planet Earth and Moon in Orbit set. The box has the 2024 space design with the logo and the purple background, and on the front you can see the orrery. The back shows some details of the mechanism and tries to depict the expected movement. Let's see what's inside. The set has 526 pieces, it is already available and the price is €80 or $75. All local prices can be found at the link below in the description and in the pinned comment. We get an interesting mix of bags, 4 numbered paper bags, an unnumbered plastic one, plus some parts without packaging, the manual and a rather small sticker sheet. It's not a licensed set for adults, so there's no additional information unfortunately. It would have been nice to know more about the concept and these machines. Here's the parts list if you are interested. Now let's start building. This is how the process begins and we get this 15 by 15 ring in the new reddish orange color. We get another pair of legs, then we need to add a couple big black curved gear racks and then comes the missing fourth leg. We have some big frames and a few gears, these should be folded down. This is the end of phase 1, all gears are connected. The orientation in the manual could have been better because you can't really see where to put them. Bag 2 starts with some system parts, then comes another gear and you have to guess the correct position again. The build continues with other functional elements, here is a large turntable, and then it is added to the main assembly. I had to move a few parts that I had added incorrectly before. Now it's time to insert the crank. This is the end of phase 2 and we can test the speed of the gears. As you can see, the input is geared down heavily. I added more of these system parts, then another reddish orange ring that's a little hard to push in. I added all the stickers for the months. This is the end of bag 2. We will have a lot of gear squeezed in a small space here. I extended the build with a long arm and then put it in place. Interesting, I thought the gold part was a handle, but it actually serves as a rolling support. Adding more of those white system pieces, and now it's time to grab these massive new elements, 4 pinholes to attach them, and the axle holes on the ends, that's the sun, and we are at the end of bag 3. In the next phase we have more turntables, then more gears and also the smaller rings. These have already appeared in this color in an avatar set. Actually I think this is the first time we have these rings in a Technic set. These train wheels might be familiar from Technic sets with massive superstructures like the Leap Air crane, but here they serve as horizontal stabilizers. Added the stickers on this ring, this time the positioning was a little easier. Here is this angled support with the universal joint, and then comes the smaller sphere. Make sure you line up the prints correctly, now it's in place. And here is our tiny moon. Check the alignment guide before you attach it to the main structure, because this also needs to be in a specific position. Just a few more parts and our build is finished. And yes, that was an obvious mistake. I hope you will forgive me. I've posted 16 videos in the last 3 weeks. I'm getting a bit tired. So here is a working orrery. Interestingly, this word is not used at all on the LEGO product page. What is an orrery anyway? According to Wikipedia, it's a mechanical model of the solar system that illustrates or predicts the relative positions and motions of the planets and moons, usually according to the heliocentric model. Yes, we have the sun at the center, but our model only has the Earth and the moon next to it. Celestial mechanics is very complex, so there are many simplifications in our model, but also a surprising amount of accurate detail. The size of the moon compared to the Earth is quite accurate, but in comparison the sun is supposed to have a diameter of 4 meters. The distances are of course also all wrong. The axial tilt of our planet is also represented, which is pretty cool. In reality it's about 23.4 degrees and the tilt of this connector is 22.5 degrees, which is close enough. There's also a difference between the orbital planes of the Earth and the Moon, about 5 degrees, but that would be a real challenge to incorporate here. But now comes the impressive part, the mechanics, all the different movements using just different LEGO gears, so these are impressively accurate. Here's our input with the crank, but I'm adding a simple motor and power source to do the work for me. Since I can't film and crank at the same time, these aren't part of the set. Virtually any LEGO motor available today can do this job for you, but it doesn't look that good. So the input turns the whole structure through a series of gears, but this input also goes up here and drives the axle at the top, and with another series of gears the sun also turns up here. The bottom axle on the arm is connected to this turntable and then this turntable that keeps the Earth in the same relative position to the sun. And the turntable that rotates the moon also drives another set of gears that makes the Earth spin. I won't pretend to do all the mathematics for this insane number of gears. There are far more talented people than me on the Eurobricks forum who did all the calculations and predicted the mechanics of the model from some low-resolution photos before the set was released, which is truly mind-blowing. So if we take the rotation of the Earth as a basis, then it takes 364.5 revolutions to orbit the Sun, which is pretty close to a real year. And with all the indicators on the large and small rings, we can actually observe the season and also the phases of the moon. In December it is cold and it's wintertime on the northern hemisphere, and when we are going halfway through the Earth's orbit, it will be spring and then summer and so on. We can also observe the phases of the moon. We have new moon when this little guy is between the Earth and the Sun, then the first quarter, the arrival of the full moon, the third quarter, and back to the new moon again. This is an ingenious model and the mechanics are really impressive. I don't mind the rough look, the more gears you can see the better, because this thing is meant for observation and study. If there's anything to criticize, it's the print on Earth. The Americas are more or less fine, my print looks even better than the photo on LEGO.com, but it doesn't look so good on the other side of the planet. I have a much bigger gap at the equator, and things in Africa don't really line up because of that. I also wish there was more information about the mechanics, principles and gear ratios in the manual. If LEGO wanted this set to be an educational piece, then it really is a missed opportunity. The icing on the cake would have been an official motorization option, but given the almost completely random availability of powered up hubs and motors on LEGO.com, I'm not surprised it's not included in the set. And now for the price. The RRP is €80 or $75. That means you pay the same amount for the new Kawasaki in Europe, $5 more in the US, and this huge space set with more than twice as many pieces costs €100 or $110. I think it easily beats the bike, but it's harder to justify the price compared to this one. However, the purpose is completely different. This is a playset, this is something complex and educational, and I think if you wait a bit, you can easily get it for €60 or even less at other retailers. Please let me know your thoughts, folks, in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe with notifications, because there will be more exciting LEGO videos coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.